group discussion session, right? So this is a sheet that I'm gonna follow you, and in the first class, I'm gonna give you in details idea about how you actually going to face it. So I believe you all are ready. So let's get started. What really happens in group discussion is that, well, basically, it's obviously not a language test, but the university instructor will try to assess your English level in some way or other. So definitely, your English will be evaluated. Right. The first thing that really that occurred in the group discussion is that your identification process. So all of you have to go through the identification process, right? So in your identification process, you must have to have your passport, right? So when you are asked to show your passport, you have to show your passport front page in front of the camera. Sometimes you have to zoom in or zoom out. Sometimes you have to put it in a little bit left or right. But the first thing that you have to do is that your password, show your password, and also they may ask your name, right? Maybe date of birth. I mean, basic questions about yourself in your identification process, and also like sometimes you got your default name. I mean, your Zoom by default name. For example, in our Zoom, there's a lot of students have joined with their by default name. If I show you around here, for example, one plus CPH 2413. This is not someone's official or passport name, right? This is not official name. So this is like by default, has been set by default via Zoom. So you have to rename yourself. Those of you don't know how to rename yourself, get help from ChatGPT or somewhere else to rename yourself, and you have to do it because sometimes they don't allow this kind of name. Like only allow your passport. It has to be matched. All right. So let's get back here. In a group discussion session, in a small group, you will have usually like 4 to 6 participants, usually like 5 to 7, or kind of like that, right? In a group, that means a group. What makes a group? Like 5 to 6 makes a group, right? So a small group often contains 4 to 6 members, right? So it can be 4, it can be 6, it can be 7, but not more than that. Usually, I never found students like more than 7. Yeah, and they will give you the topic, maybe verbally, maybe in your chat box, maybe in front of your screen, right? So they will give you a topic. What could be the topic? Well, we'll come that in later, right? Topic could be anything related to your program, related about your studying and skills and anything, but I can elaboratively describe it in later on. And you may not allow taking notes, or you may allow take notes. So what you have to do here is that you have to ask, or you have to take permission before you're taking notes. So definitely try to take a pen and paper with you. So in the discussion time, you can take keynotes, important notes from other speakers, and you can talk about it. But you have to take permission whether you're allowed to take notes or not from the book. Oh, sorry, not the book, but from the instructor, right? During the discussion session, you will not be interrupted. That means the host will not interrupt you. For example, now I am the one who is hosting your Zoom session. Right. In the real interview time, maybe there will be some university instructor will be hosting your interview. So in that discussion time, I mean, when students are discussing about the topic, the host will remain silent. He will just take notes based on your performance. So host will not interrupt in that discussion time. And remember, you have to keep your camera open all the time. Right. If you unfortunately somehow cannot open your camera, they will disqualify you. So keep your camera open all the time and do not be focused. Do not let someone in your background. For example, some of you are maybe joining from your home and your mommy is like cleaning the room, or your little kids are running around. Try to lock your room properly so that nobody interrupts you in your discussion time. Nobody comes into your camera background. And this is most important one. Many of you are performing good. Many of you will not. But if you don't contribute, if you don't speak up, nobody will tell you that please speak, speak, speak more. Nobody will going to do that. Nobody's gonna do that. Even your host will not tell you anything. He just marks you negative. That's the simple thing. So if you don't talk, it's up to you. So you have to talk more correspondently. Duration of the discussion is approximately 20 to 25 minutes, not more than 30 minutes, not less than 15 minutes, right? So the duration happens approximately like 20 minutes. They tell you that you have to discuss about this topic for about 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, you'll have 5 minutes to summarize it. Summarize means the conclusion, right? What you have discussed already and what you have pointed out, right? What brings out from the discussion. So that's the summary. So you have to describe the summary. Maybe each of you will have time to describe the summary. What was the discussion about and what did you learn from the discussion, right? The main focus is on evaluating the applicant's ability to speak English well. So you have to speak in English all the time and nicely, logically, obviously. Their communication skills and how well they interact with others, and also assessed are also assessed during the interview, right? So overall, it's not about like how well you speak English, but the thing is like your communication skill or interpersonal skill can be like how you interact with others, how you argue with others, how you respect others, right? These are the skills also evaluated in your interview time, but the majority of things covered about your English level. So you have to have a very good English in this discussion. And the fortunate thing is, well, a couple of months ago, maybe 1.5 months, I believe, and we had another group discussion session in Turku University, and there were like 5 or 6 applicants were participating in the interview, and almost 3 of them um, received their offer letter from Turku University. So it's a good things, right? So most of them, or majority of them, got the offer letter. I believe that in the upcoming interview, most of you will also secure your offer letter. Let's let's hope for the best. Um, they will also look for a couple of interesting things. First up, like content. I mean, for example, the discussion topic. If the topic is something related, sustainability, how much do you know about sustainability? I mean, the topic is sustainability, and you're just like telling them the cleanliness and environmental pollution and everything. That means you don't have much idea about sustainability, what it exactly means, right? So the content, if it is familiar, probably will have an in-depth understanding about the topic, and then they will also appreciate it because the student quite is well informative about the topic, right? So they know you better. So obviously, your depth of understanding or the relevancy. I mean, are you talking irrelevant or are you talking illogical things? Right. So don't just talk randomly. Rather, try to speak like keeping the relevance. Right. Is it really relevant or not? Is it worth of speaking or not? Communication skill, your clarity and coherence. Coherence means speaking logically, like you understand it, right? Most of you have passed in your IELTS and you know what coherent means. So there is a criteria 25 that carries 25 marks, like coherence and cohesion. So that means speaking logically, right? So you must have to follow the linkers. For example, we have got to know there's a couple of like sequential linkers, like first of all, second of all, third of all. So coherence means you have a proper structure. What really structure means is that before you start your speech, try to give them a little bit idea. Hello everyone, first your introduction, right? Hello everyone, my name is this, I'm from this country, and today our discussion topic is this, and this topic is quite familiar to me, and I'm going to talk about first. I'm going to talk about this. Second, I'll be dive into that part, and later on, if I have more time, I'll be giving you a little bit idea about the things, or I'll give you some negative response about it. And at the end of my speech, I'll give you a little bit conclusion about what I have said. So this is a structure, right? This is a structure that you can follow. When you're following this structure, that means you're speaking logically, you're speaking coherently with proper cohesion, right? So you're speaking nicely, organizedly. That's important things. And also clearly. Many of you get nervous. Many of you don't know what's are coming out from your throat, coming out from your mouth. I mean, you don't have any control while we're in the interview time. So try to speak, try to speak with clarity, with your coherence, right? And also the teamwork ability. Well, in Finland, teamwork is like something gold, something really precious. Everybody value teamwork. So you must have to have the teamwork ability. So teamwork ability means when you are like in a group, that means you are a team, right? So in a teamwork ability, what I really means is that try to collaborate with them, try to agree with them. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I completely agree with you. I also face the same situation in my life. Like you're communicating with them, you're appreciating them, what you have said, really appreciating. I understand what you're coming. I mean, if you're giving an argument, I mean, you're opposite with a person, you can do it respectfully with the keeping the respect properly, right? For example, I understand what you are coming from, but I respectfully disagree with you because I face something different. Let me show you what I faced. So you're showing respect to the teamwork, to the team people, right? Yeah. And the leadership, well, the host will tell you, maybe tell you, different university has different, a little bit different, but not the fundamental things are different. That's completely same. Some universities tell you that to build or to form a leader in the group. So if you're very motivated, if you're very I mean, if your English is really good and your knowledge is quite good enough or sufficient enough, then you can be the leader. You can lead the whole team. But if you're not good at it, if you're poor at leadership, then try not to risk yourself, because if you willingly want to play as a leader, then you must have to have the leadership skill. Some of you may have, some of you may not have, but it's okay. You don't have to be a leader in order to get your admission. It doesn't mean that all the leader will get the admission. That really not the same scenario. But some of you are willing to start first. Maybe it's a good one. Still, again, if you think that you are pretty much assured about the content, about the topic that you're given, then absolutely you can start off. You can definitely start off, right? And make sure that talk relevant things, because when you're starting off, that means the rest of the team will follow you, right? So if you're misguiding the rest of the team, that means you are not a good starter. So Try to start. If you take the chance of going first, you can do it, but think before you do whether you can make it happen or not. Yeah, respectfulness. I mean, you always have to respect others. It's a group discussion. It's not something like, it doesn't mean that you have a personal conflict with the other person. So don't fight verbally. Don't do that. Right. Internationally, it's not appreciated, obviously. Always respect. For example, India, Bangladesh, political situation is not so well enough. For example, in your interview session, if you find any Indian people, don't fight with them. Don't fight. Don't do that. Even respect to them, so that the host give you more marks because of your respectfulness. Interaction and contribution and turn taking. Does anybody know what turn taking means? Can anybody answer me what turn taking means? Does anybody know what turn taking means? Seems the crowds are quite.
It might be pausing
Mhm.
someone while talking and start talking himself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well done. It's something like, for example, I'm talking and someone interrupt me middle of my speech. Someone stops me middle of my speech, and then he is maybe adding another information. He is maybe arguing with me, or he's maybe talking something else, whatever. But the thing is, like, that exactly what turn taking is. You can do turn take. You can turn take in your interview time. For example, someone is talking and really bad, really like illogical. So you can stop him. You can argue with him, or you, if you don't understand anything, you can also stop. Like, sorry, I actually didn't understand your last point. I don't know whether you are talking about this part or that part. Would you be clarify it? Would you clarify the point? What you're actually trying to make us understand, right? So you can also turn take in that way, and it's good. But do not do it more than two times, because if you do it more than two times, then it may give the host feeling that you're possessive. I mean, you're taking others' time, right? So don't show that attitude like you're very overly possessive. You don't want to let others speak. You just want to speak. You just only want to speak from your side, right? But turn taking two times, three times is okay, but not more than that. Spoken language, range, accuracy, fluency, and coherence. We have already talked about how, I mean, you have to be fluent enough, you have to speak accurately, maintaining your grammar, maintaining your pronunciation and articulation, and also body language. We hardly talk about body language, hand gesture, facial expression, right? Eye movements, eye contact. These are these are like essential for this group discussion. Try to use them. Even I request you to use it in this class as well. Now I am giving you the description of the interview. Later on, we will focus on making a real group discussion. Then I want you to use your hand gesture, body language, facial expression. I mean, to connect with others, to connect with your host, to connect with other discussion members. We'll do it later on. Active listening. Listen to the all the participant actively. Many of you just think about yourself, like what you are going to say. But those of your active listener, they listen to others, they argue what others said, they shared their acknowledgement of agreement, right? So they are very active listener, and if you are an active listener, there is a probability, there is a chance that the host will give you more marks based on your listening skill. Time management. Most of you may mismatch with the time management. Well, let me give you a short plan about how you're going to manage your time in discussion time. Well, basically, if you are a first speaker, then definitely 1 minute to introduce yourself. Very nice introduction. If you are a first speaker, very nice introduction about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and what is your dream. This kind of things in your introduction. And then later on, come to the topic, what you know about the topic, and how you're going to say about the topic, what you're going to say about it, and then describe it. At the end, what you have said already. This is very, very basic structure, and I want you to follow that. So, if you're a first starter, 1 minute is for the introduction, and then maybe 2 or 3 minutes for the topic. In total, not more than 5 minutes. Okay, not more than 5 minutes, or not less than 4 minutes as well. 4 to 5 minutes, it's pretty good introduction, pretty good starter. If you have chance to go as a second participant, maybe 4 to 5 is okay. Yeah, 4 to 5 is okay. Each time 4 to 5 is okay. But however, if you somehow end up in 2 minutes, remember, 2 minutes performance will not give you your offer letter. So what you have to do is that you have to contribute more. You have to do in a couple of times, 2 minutes now, 2 minutes maybe a little bit later after one participant, maybe again 2 minutes. So you have to do a couple of times. So in a group discussion, the total discussion is 25 minutes, and at least you have to speak 8 minutes, at least 8 minutes. So maybe one time 5 minutes and the other time is 3 minutes, maybe more, but not less than 8 minutes. Remember, not less than 8 minutes. It is not written, it is not documented that you have to speak 8 minutes or something like that, but it is from my experience. It is something what I have learned from our previous interview. Those of you who are a good speaker, you can speak more, maybe 10 minutes. That's okay. That's completely fine. You can speak more. If you're not so good, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, but I would say you're in risk, right? The more you speak, the better, because they would have chances to give you more marks. So, but do not be possessive also. Remember it, do not be possessive. In the interview time, some people are shy, some people get nervous, they don't want to speak. From there, you'll have chances to get more time. But if someone is speaking, don't interrupt too much and don't kill their time, because it's also their their time. It's also their time, right? They're allowed to take their time on. So do not be possessive, right? And constructive criticism. Constructive criticism. This is really, really, really important for this interview. Okay. Constructive criticism means, well, you can argue with the topic, but not with the person. I mean, you have to respect the person. Maybe the person, what is saying, that can be something that you don't like, but you have to argue with the information. Don't take it personally, right? Don't take it personally. Something that you need to understand quite properly, right? If someone is saying, understand I don't understand what you are saying, or if someone is saying, i don't I don't agree with you, don't think that the person is rude to you, the person doesn't like you. Don't think personally, right? It's literally mean that the person actually don't like the point that you're talking about. It doesn't mean that the person hates you, right? So don't take it personally. It's a constructive, follows the constructive criticism. Always appreciate the person, but if you're disagree with the ideas, then you're allowed to hate the ideas but not hate the person. Yeah. So provide feedback in a constructive way, constructive manners, focusing on ideas rather than individuals. It's important. Stay on topic. Don't talk bullshit. Don't talk bullshit. Encourage participation. For example, in the group discussion time, probably you'll also get some other students from Bangladesh, from maybe from our agency as well. So if they don't speak much, please appreciate them or please encourage them to speak more in the discussion time. It's okay. This actually represents your leadership skill, right? That you're as a leader, you're helping your team to speak more. So you'll have 20 minutes to discuss. First, choose a chairman or choose a leader of this group. Make notes, main point of the conversation, and finally choose one person to summarize the discussion. Sometimes the summary depends only one person. Sometimes everybody can give summary. So it's the situation based on the interview time. Yeah. Now the topic, but before dive into the topic, I wanna give you a little bit more specific idea about how you all are going to face your interview. Well, basically, if you're going to face your interview from the agency, be careful. Sometimes they verify your room. Sometimes they verify your room. In the or identification process, they may also tell you, please look around. Show us around the room. Where are you giving your exam from? Or is this your personal room or is this any other place? Or maybe they can also tell, I mean, the room checking. I don't know whether you have idea about it, but they will check your room first. Maybe they will check your room first. Like they can tell you like show 360 view. 360 view means চারপাশে দেখানো, right? 360 ডিগ্রি মানে চারপাশে ঘুরায় ঘুরায় দেখানো. So show us 360 view. They can also tell you that to tilt down your camera নিচের দিকে ঝুঁকাইতে বলতে পারে. They can tell you that well, are you using any external device or not? I mean, are you using any headphones, any how many how many instruments are plugged in with your device. They can look after it, right? They can also check these things. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. Don't get nervous if they want to see that. And also, if you're planning to help by agency or planning to get help from ChatGPT, do it masterfully, do it professionally. Don't get corrupted. Don't let them to catch you in right hand, right? হাতে নাতে ধরা যেন খান না এরকম ভাবেই করেন, right? So how are you gonna do it? Well, if the agency helps you, they usually have like multi-screen. They have two device, and you'll have like multi-screen in front of your device. In front of your screen, you can easily see one side of the Zoom discussion, and the other side is like your Chat GPT answers. But please do not read from ChatGPT. Do not read because this is not a reading test. This is a speaking test. You have to speak. And when you all are reading a text from ChatGPT, you sounds like robotic. You sounds like artificial. You sounds like not so natural. So I want you to speak naturally. Maybe in natural speaking, we stuck. For example, I'm speaking, sometimes I take pause. Sometimes I stuck. Sometimes I forget ideas. Sometimes I make grammar mistakes. It's completely okay. Who doesn't make grammar mistakes? Well, ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT doesn't make any grammar mistakes. But we make, as a human, we make mistakes. We are allowed to do that. It's okay. It's completely fine. But when you're using ChatGPT, try not to speak or try not to read directly from the speech or from the text. Rather, modify it. How are you going to modify it? Simple things. First, as I told you, that you will have time to prepare before you start speaking. So in that preparation time, read a couple of times from ChatGPT's text, then structure in your brain how you're going to say. I mean, the introduction that we talked about. First, I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to talk about that. These things will humanize your total speech, right? So this will humanize it. I mean, this makes you feel more I would say, more natural. So you have to have the ability to do that, right? You somehow have to manage it, right? How you're going to speak naturally. And also, I don't know if everything's either who helps you in the interview time, but I think they also have to be really professional to give you a solid answer. Sometimes you give a wrong instruction to the chat GPT. For example, you just randomly like pick the topic and put it in the chat GPT, and then chat GPT give you an answer. But that answer may not satisfy you, may not satisfy the instructor. So you can instruct ChatGPT, please make it easy, make it natural, spoken style, make use a lot of American filler words, right? Filler words means, um, um, it's like kinda, these are like filler words. When you're using filler words in your speech, it makes sounds more natural. So you can instruct ChatGPT to write in a spoken style so that someone is like speaking from Bangladesh. You can also give the more specific context, like it in a way that Bangladeshi people speak, so that it becomes easier for you to read. It becomes easier for you to even when I said you to make it easy, because sometimes ChatGPT gives really like C2 level vocabularies, and that vocabulary is quite new to you, and you don't know how to correctly pronounce it. You may repeat it. For example, you may do that. You are randomly. If you do that, do you understand me? What I'm trying to say? You like, for example, this word enable. This word is new. For example, this word is new, and you're reading from ChatGPT. First, choose a chairman from the group whose task is to enable. This is not good. That means you are not familiar with the word. So make it easy so that you can speak without stucking the words, without mumbling the words. So here is some topic. As an international student, you might face some challenges living in Finland. What are those challenges? What could be the solution of them? So this is a topic about Finland, not about program. Most of you are probably going to face your discussion, or you have applied in international business, right? If I'm not wrong, you applied in international business, but maybe your topic could be something related business field, like what is good leadership, what do you expect from a good leader or manager based on your own experience as a leader or manager or an employee. Well, this topic previously came in this kind of group discussion interview, so you can get a little bit of idea from this topic. But today we will talk about the first one. Like, as an international student, you might face some challenges living in Finland. Well, what could be the challenges? Like temperature. I mean, the weather could be the challenges, or homesickness could be the challenges, and challenges could be like different culture. So culture shock could be a challenge for you, or different educational curriculum. It could be a challenge as well, right? And what are those challenges? So you have to point out those challenges. You have to talk about those challenges that might appear while you're moving to abroad, and what could be the solution of them. I mean, how you could solve those problems, right? Solution of those challenges. Well, how you can solve it. Well, you have ideas. For example, for the temperature, you'll definitely put some warm clothes. You have purchased those, or maybe the cultural things. Well, you're pretty much internationalized, right? So you already know how to mix up how to blend with international people. You have a lot of international friends previously. You discussed them regularly. So these are like solution. And also like there's a lot of things, right, that you can talk about. Anyways, you can get help from ChatGPT, and you can discuss about this topic. Before the discussion starts, you'll have 5 minutes to think about or to take keynotes about this topic. Later on, you have to speak like 20 minutes about the topic. Now, how many of you are participating in our first discussion? কে কে আপনারা প্রথম ডিসকাশনে পার্টিসিপেট করবেন এই টপিকের উপরে? টপিক নাম্বার 1, এই টপিকের উপরে আপনারা কে কে পার্টিসিপেট করবেন? কেউই করবেন না। এনিওয়েজ আমাদের জুম সেশন বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে, আমরা আবার রিজয়েন করব একই লিংকে ক্লিক করে। আমরা তারপরে হয়তো একটা ডিসকাশন করব, তখন আমি লাস্টে আবার একটা রেকমেন্ডেশন দেবো যে আপনাদের ভুল কি হয়েছে, ঠিক কি